Today, I'm going to demonstrate some of the most common literary devices that rappers use all the time to impress their listeners with their wordplay. And I'm also going to be helped by some of you out there who participated in the recent literary device challenge that I had, where I had you submit some of your favorite rap songs and lyrics that use wordplay. So without further ado, let's get it. Our first two examples were submitted by Benjamin Stevens. Shout out to you, Benjamin. And the first literary device is double entendre. And a double entendre just basically means something that can have a double meaning. And for his example, he submitted KRS One from the song The Beginning. KRS says, "I'm teaching with bars, spitting these bars, but youngins under 21 can't even get into these bars." So youngins can't even get into these bars is a double entendre, because getting into these bars is him talking about his stuff is like so deep or so mature that you got to be of a certain level, a certain mindset to actually understand it. And also here in the States, you can't get into an actual bar that you would go drink alcohol in if you're under the age of 21. And the second literary device that he submitted was a pun. Now, a pun is a single word that sounds the same but has different meaning. So for an example, on the song by Notorious B.I.G. featuring Eminem, Dead Wrong, Eminem says, "I got a lion in my pocket, I'm lying, I got a 9 in my pocket." So lion and lion, obviously two words, different meanings, same exact sound. That's what a pun is. So when you hear someone say "no pun intended," that's what they mean. And our third example was submitted by Nikolai Lee. Shout out to you as well. And this example is using a combination of different literary devices such as metaphor, simile, and double entendre. A metaphor is a figure of speech in which a word or phrase is applied to an object or action which is not literally applicable. And a simile is when you use one thing to compare to another. And of course, we've already went over double entendre, which is something that has a double meaning. And for this example, we're using King Iso's song In My Head, and it reads, "Dread like a Rasta. In my head, how locked up. State of mind, fed it ain't lock up." So dread is a double entendre because it's referring to dreadlocks, but it's also dread as in something that you're not looking forward to or something that you fear. He also says locked up, which is also a double entendre, referring to actually being like physically locked down, but also locked as in dreadlocks. Then he uses a simile with like a roster, dread like a roster. So again, similes is something that we use to compare one thing to another. I use them all the time as a teacher to try to make these kind of abstract things I'm teaching about music more physical, analog, and just more relatable. And also he's technically using a metaphor when he says a locked up state of mind. That's a metaphor. Again, a metaphor is like a figure of speech when we're describing something that's not physically possible, like locking up a mind, like you're not putting a padlock or something on your brain. You know, this is a figure of speech. Now for our fourth example, let's talk about a punchline. And a punchline is just basically a line that hits the listener hard due to how funny, shocking, or deep that it is. And for this example, I'm going to be using Drake's song Back to Back, which is his diss song to Meek Mill. And in this example, he uses a metaphor and also a double entendre. And for these lyrics, he's talking to Meek Mill and referring to his then girlfriend, Nicki Minaj. And he says, "You love her, then you gotta give the world to her. Is that a world tour or your girl's tour? I know that you gotta be a thug for her. This ain't what she meant when she told you to open up more." The metaphor that he uses is give the world to her, right? That's physically impossible to give someone the world, right? So that's a metaphor, a figure of speech. The double entendre is when he says open up more. So when he says that this ain't what she meant when she told you to open up more, he's speaking more from a relationship point of view, like Nicki Minaj telling Meek Mills, "I need you to be more open and honest about your feelings," and stuff like that. And then he's tying it into him opening up on her tour. So like being the first act that comes out and performs at her shows to kind of get the crowd ready and stuff for the main event. So he's saying that's not what she meant. She didn't mean for you to come open up for her on tour. She meant for you to open up more in your relationship. So that's a big jab at him, basically saying your girl is doing better than you are, so sit your butt down. And for our fourth example, I'm going to share with you one of the most common literary devices, which are rhymes, but I'm going to share with you a different way to rhyme that you probably don't hear that often. And this is called a mind rhyme. And a mind rhyme is when you establish a rhyme scheme, but purposely leave one of the rhymes out to make the listener feel it in. Now I'm gonna give you an example by Eminem and his song Criminal. Eminem has never used the N-word in his song, but he kind of did without using it. Let me show you what I mean. He says, I drink more liquor to F you up quicker than you'd want to F me up for saying the word blank. He doesn't say anything at the end, but we know what word is supposed to go there. That is a mind rhyme. And if you want to dig even deeper into wordplay, make sure that you pick up yourself a copy of my quick guide to literary devices, which I'll post in the video description below. And I want to hear from y'all in the comment section. Drop some of your favorite lines from either other rappers' songs or your songs, and let me know which literary device these lyrics are using or what combination of literary devices they're using. Put them in the comment section below. I'd love to see what y'all come up with. Let's keep it going. My name is Cole Mize with ColeMizeStudios.com, where I strive to make you a better rapper now. And make sure you subscribe to this channel for more straight to the point, no BS, how to rap video tutorials just like this one. And always remember, when it comes to rapping, there's no rules, there's only techniques. Peace. Hey man, you see that subscribe button right there? Kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. Oh, and don't forget the bell icon. Kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. Hey, I know you see that like button, right? Kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. And look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, today I'm gonna kill it, kill it.